All right, next. So I thought this story was really interesting again with the beef that keeps on giving, right? The beef that keeps on giving, or the rap beef that keeps on giving, rather, right? So Fat Joe, he went on a podcast with Jay Shetty. I believe he's an actor. I'm not familiar with Jay Shetty. He's got a big channel though. He's got like 3 million views on his YouTube channel. And Fat Joe went on Jay Shetty and they asked him about J.Cole and Kendrick and Drake, right? And they were asking what Fat Joe thought of J. Cole's apology, the way he ducked out of that rap beef, right? So yeah, so let's check out the article. The rapper sat down with Jay Shetty for an episode that aired yesterday. He offered his opinion on the way in which the Dreamville leader backed down from his rap battle with Kendrick Lamar. Here's what Fat Joe said. I had one of the biggest, most dangerous beefs with 50 Cent, and I was sitting next to him at the game yesterday having the best time in the world. That battle between 50 and Fat Joe, I mean, it really was. It's at the end of it, it started to feel like New York versus 50 Cent. I mean, 50 was taking shots at Nas. He took shots at Ja Rule, of course. He took shots at Jadakiss. He took shots at Fat Joe. You know, that was another time period. And that actually started the process, in my opinion, of 50 Cent losing his musical relevance. That's the point in time when I really started feeling like 50 Cent was moving on to be near the mogul. You know, this is the point in time when he does the vitamin water deal where he really cakes up off of that. This is 50 really starts blowing up as a media outlet. You can start seeing him positioning himself in different ways. One of my favorite books is The 50th Law by 50 Cent. It's phenomenal book, phenomenal book. It's written by Robert Greene, who's the same guy who wrote the 48 Laws of Power. So this is the 50th Law. It takes a lot of the same structure, but it uses 50 Cent's life as the device to really inspire people on how to improve their life, overcome challenges, conquer mountains, slay dragons, that kind of thing. But that, by the time he got around to dissing Nas and Fat Joe and all these other guys, that to me was when I realized that 50 Cent wasn't going to have the musical staying power from an album standpoint that we saw after Get Rich or Die Trying, right? Get Rich or Die Trying is a classic. The Massacre, first half of that classic is a classic. First half of that album is a classic to me. Definitely. Baltimore Love Thing, amazing song. Ski Mask Way might be my favorite 50 Cent track ever. Definitely my favorite 50 Cent beat. And then after that, things start to wane. Everything starts to feel a little bit more like he's sticking to a formula, right? I think the Massacre had a Pussycat Doll on it. It had Robin Thicke and Justin Timberlake. Maybe I'm getting the second half of the Massacre and Curtis confused, but those albums were hit or miss to me. And these felt like reach type beefs. So Fat Joe, but it escalated in a real way because these are still street dudes. And everything that 50 Cent was about was action. It was live at that point in time. There was a lot of stuff that was happening in New York City at that point in time. So Fat Joe's not capping when he says this. So he says, "We're brothers. When you're called out in hip hop, you gotta respond. I'm a big fan of J. Cole, but it started from that." The quote continues. He says he probably saw that it could get real messy and real ugly. And so he said, you know what? This ain't me. I don't want no parts of it. But he definitely got a stripe off. They took a stripe off that because in hip hop, when you get called out, you come out. Now, I think that DX just pulled this quote from the YouTube story, what they call them, shorts. I think they called it, I think they pulled this from the YouTube shorts because this isn't the full quote that's actually in the interview. There's a little bit more detail that's added in the interview. He says, a guy like him, he was king. So it's like, wow, Cole, you did that. I've been called out. I got to step up. If I've been called out, I got to step up, even if I think the artist is a million times better than me. In hip hop, you're talking all this. Somebody calls you out. You got to step up. I love J. Cole. I'm a huge fan. I get it from a mature standpoint, but also in hip hop, you got to bring the sword when it's time, right? And so I respect Fat Joe's opinion on that. I 100% agree on that. But I don't know if Fat Joe really is aware of how this actually happened because J. Cole was called out and he did drop a track. He dropped 7-minute drill. It was 3 minutes or some odd change. It was one of the, you could tell his heart wasn't in it when J. Cole put that track out. Now, J. Cole is spending all this time over the years talking about subbing Kendrick on tracks like Johnny P's Caddy, for example, first person shooter, for example, just making these associations that he's the greatest. All these freestyles that he's dropping, he's talking about how he's the best and how he's really the one that, has come into his own and showed improve over time in a way that Drake or Kendrick hasn't. He's more hip hop with it. He's always been more sport with it. I personally have a problem with J. Cole because I feel like the older he gets, the more gun bars he drops. I understand his dad was in the military and he lives in North Carolina. I'm sure he's got a gun closet for that ass, but I don't understand why you're getting older and now you're putting M's on people's heads like you're Luigi brother now. Dope line though. Dope line. But Fat Joe's approaching this like J. Cole didn't say anything. J. Cole dropped a whole diss track. He dropped the track and then apologized. He apologized on stage during Dreamville. We got a clip.
That project, except for one part. It's one part of that shit that make me feel like, man, that's the lamest shit I ever did in my fucking life, right? And I know this is not what a lot of people want to hear. I know I can hear my niggas up there right now like, nah, I don't do that, but I got to keep it 100 with y'all, right?
The funny thing about this that I always think about is that on the Heart Part 5, I think it is, maybe the Heart Part, I think it's the Heart Part 5. It was leading up to Mr. Morale, if I'm not mistaken. Kendrick has a line that says, you have until April 7th to get your shit together, right? And then J. Cole apologizes. This video drops on April 7th. Like there is something spiritual floating around Kendrick because a lot of things that little small things that he does make a huge ripple and he calls out stuff in advance. So this is actually pretty hilarious because on April 7th, J. Cole got his ish together.
I damn near had a relapse, right? Because y'all heard some shit that happened 2-3 weeks ago, however long it was. Y'all heard that bazooka that was dropped on the motherfucking game, right?
J. Cole gets credits from me too, for even dropping 7-minute drill. Both him and Dre get credit for responding. Now, I take away a lot of credit for dropping an apology and deleting the track. Perhaps this is part of his broader rollout. His next album supposedly called The Fall Off. Maybe he took this opportunity to say, oh, word, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop a diss track. Then I know this is really about Kendrick and Drake. So I'm gonna drop a diss track, then I'm gonna back out, then I'm gonna apologize. Everyone's gonna hate on me. Then I'm gonna drop Grippy and it's gonna be really black. It's gonna be really corny and everyone's gonna hate on me more. And then I drop The Fall Off and now I'm on theme and I'm on brand. Maybe that's what it is. I think that is a terrible strategy. Like that's the best I can do for what we're watching right now when it comes to J. Cole. That's the best I can do when it comes to this. But it does fall in line with his brand. I think he knows, like most people know, that words are powerful. That's why I say it's all happening all the time. It's all encompassing. It bridges, the things that are more positive and things that are less positive. It's aspirational, but it's also mournful. It's all happening. Words are powerful. Thoughts are physical. And to name your album The Fall Off, I think stuff, I don't know, J. Cole. I don't know, man. I think you might be making predictions that you don't necessarily need to make. You know what I mean? But this moment right here.
So all of this time of me moving on my own accord, for the first time I was tested. Why am I tested? Because I got the world and I got my niggas like, what you gonna do, Cole? My niggas like, boy, I must have had 1,000 missed calls. Oh my fucking God. Text flooded. I couldn't even answer my shit. Nigga, it's wartime, right?
It was, man. That was the energy. This is definitely a classic. This is a classic moment in a craptastic sense. Like this is definitely a moment that I don't know if we'll ever see this in hip hop again. But I understand the pressure had to be crazy when he was doing that.
Niggas want to see blood. And I was conflicted because
that's the other one. That's the other part that I love. Kendrick's got the whole thing. I remember you was conflicted, misusing your influence. Sometimes I feel the same. Right? Now J. Cole is conflicted on April 7th. He got his shit together.
Because one, I know my heart, you know what I mean? And like, I know how I feel about my peers, these two niggas that I just been blessed to even stand beside in this game, let alone chase their greatness, right? So I felt conflicted because I'm like, bro, I know.
There it is again. I'm telling you, man, there's something around Kendrick. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's something there because this is one of those moments.
I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood. I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world want to see blood.
He said, I don't really feel no way. That's the other part of this that I didn't. I'm like, you've been sitting around. J. Cole is the sub king. You know, J. Cole is the call out king. He called out Eminem, Macklemore, Iggy Azalea, Kanye, Wale, Lil Pump, No Name. Like, he's over here acting like he's just this dude on a bicycle who don't want smoke. He starts the fire every single time.
So I say all of that to say, in my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my nigga back and I try to keep it friendly. But at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my fucking peace. So what I wanna say right here tonight is in the midst of me doing that and in that shit, trying to find a little angle and downplay this nigga's fucking catalog and his greatness. I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest motherfuckers that ever touched a second microphone? Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct? As do I. So I just want to come up here and be like, publicly be like, bruh, that was the lamest, like goofiest shit. And I say all that to say, it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray.
Johnny P's caddy was not that long ago. That video, I'm not going to do a reaction to that video, but go take a look at Johnny P's caddy and look at what he's saying about Kendrick up there.
That God aligned me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my nigga really didn't feel no way. And if he did, my nigga, I got my chin out. Take your best shot. I'm gonna take that shit on the chin, boy. Do what you do. You know what I mean?
Right. And so I think Fat Joe missed the whole point, right? Fat Joe, look at this quote. He probably saw that it could get real messy and real ugly. So he said, I don't want no, so this ain't me. I don't want no parts of it. But he definitely got a stripe off. They took a stripe off because in hip hop, when they call you out, you come out. He came out. He got called out. He came out. I agree with the fact that, yeah, he definitely got a stripe off. I don't want to hear J. Cole and no GOAT conversation. I don't want to hear no J. Cole fans talking to me about how he's the greatest. I don't. He might make, music that you prefer more than these other artists that are out there, but don't come around here saying you the GOAT. You drop a diss track, it's weak, you delete it, and at best use it for a marketing ploy. But I don't think Fat Joe really, the way he's talking about this isn't the way, doesn't capture what actually happened. It doesn't capture what actually happened. Either way, that's what Fat Joe thinks about this. Let me know what you guys think. I agree with the stripes off part, even though I don't think he's describing what actually happened because J. Cole did really jump out of there. I think one of the reasons why he's not in this big three to me is one, I just find his music pretty boring. I feel like he's a regular rapper in the 90s, but he excels in radio freestyles more than his albums pull me in. Not saying he's whack. I just feel like when I'm listening to J. Cole, I'm listening to another version of things I've been listening to my whole life. Nothing wrong with that. And two, I don't like the way he subs people over here and he name drops in a weird way. And when it's time to step up, he apologizes. You know what I mean? I really think that Tyler, the creator, is probably more deserving of that big three than J. Cole is, personally. If you look at everything that he's been able to supplant culturally, if you look at everything that artistically, how he's been able to evolve, he makes beats too. I'll take a Tyler beat over a J. Cole beat every day of the week. No shots, no shade to J. Cole, though. Let me know what you guys think about that. And let's talk about that for real, because I feel like there's a portion of the population that actually thinks that J. Cole was the smart one, that he was the smart one for not for deleting the track and backing out. If he was that smart, he wouldn't have dropped the track in the first place. If he was that smart, he wouldn't have found himself in that predicament in the first place. So either way, but that Fat Joe conversation is interesting.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views, it's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, dog, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.